Dot-com bubble to dogecoin bubble. The dot-com bubble, also known as the dot-com boom, was a stock market bubble caused by excessive speculation of internet-related companies in the late 1990s. This marked the beginning of an era when the Fed started pumping money supply into the economy through a series of interest rate cuts and reductions in the top bracket tax rates, while simultaneously ignoring signs of runaway inflation. But wait, does that sound familiar? Nah, we're going to the moon, bro. During this time, the adoption of household computers and subsequently the internet skyrocketed. Hundreds of dot-com internet companies began popping up, promising the next big thing in tech. Most of these offered little beyond that promise. With a glut of money supply in the economy, access to capital was easy and cheap. By the late 1990s, the venture capital market exploded. Deep-pocketed VCs began voraciously dumping money into these tech startups with a goal of immediately taking them to an IPO. Most of these tech startups had no fundamentals. They showed no profits, and their only value proposition was based on vague forecasts of future mass adoption. Investment banks hopped on the train to fuel the fire, pouring millions into these IPOs in their portfolios and hyping up stocks to retail investors with the promise of huge gains. By 1999, it was common for a dot-com to skyrocket by hundreds or even thousands of percentage increases soon after public listing. Retail investors followed suit, and by 2000, investments in speculative dot-com tech reached a frenzied pace. Office cooler conversations centered around the next big stock, and average Joes around the world began quitting their jobs to trade tech stocks, dumping their savings into the market. Watching stocks pump started getting treated like a national sport, with the mainstream media fanning the flames of hype. At its peak, the Nasdaq had risen by 400%, and many of the big tech plays were up thousands of percentage points. And then, almost instantly, it popped.
With which we are watching this market deteriorate. We're red everywhere, essentially, down by 4-5%. We're down over 16%.
Dow at the same time has fallen about 18%.
The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
What in the world is happening on Wall Street?
Two-year no yields went from 190 to 166 in the blink of an eye.
On the Nasdaq, everything and more has been completely wiped out.
It was the worst day on Wall Street since the crash of...
The bubble burst in 2000 when Japan entered a recessionary period and Alan Greenspan decided to raise interest rates. After some big market drops within just a few months, capital quickly dried up. Many of these companies ran out of cash almost instantly. Over the next year, $5 trillion in market cap disappeared. That's 2 times more than the entire crypto market. But wait, this time it's different, bro. A majority of the dot-coms went bankrupt. Most of the rest never recovered of their new lows. So now let's understand the biggest defining traits of a dot-com company. Number 1. Most of these companies had almost zero real fundamental value. Most showed no profit. In fact, at the height of the bubble, it was seen as a badge of honor for tech companies to be losing money. Many showed no revenue at all. They had techie names that started with E or I or Cyber or some strange sounding names, kinda like Dogecoin or Shiba Inu. They spent billions
And billions and billions and billions and billions
of dollars on massive advertising campaigns with the sole intention of hyping the stock rather than the underlying company. During this time, dot-com commercials bombarded television stations and billboards around the world. Many were founded by con men and criminals. Fraud, misrepresentation, and shady accounting practices was rampant. In the year 2000, Michael Saylor and his team were found guilty of illegal accounting practices with their dot-com startup MicroStrategy. The stock price plummeted over 60% in one day. Their biggest value proposition was the promise of future mass adoption of their tech. Because it's the future, bro. Sounds familiar? Let's look at where we are now. The stock market and subsequently the crypto market has pumped for 2 years, spurred by interest rates at historic lows and government stimulus injecting huge amounts of money supply into the economy. Venture capital has started pouring into crypto. Thousands of coins are popping up out of the ground, most with strange names, no fundamentals, and no real value proposition whatsoever beyond the promise of future mass adoption. Because it's the future, bro. Crypto has made the jump onto the stock market. Institutional investors and investment banks looking to park their excess cash have started hedging huge bets into crypto assets as high-risk speculative plays. Coins have soared by hundreds or thousands of %. A cult-like mentality has taken hold, and people around the world have quit their jobs to become full-time crypto traders. And the mainstream media is fanning the flames again. Crypto companies are pouring billions of those dollars of that VC cash into advertising with the hope of generating hype for future profits. Billboards and subways around the world, TV commercials, digital ad campaigns, sponsorships, crypto.com arena, and the list just goes on and on. Fraud and cons are rampant. Billions of dollars has been stolen in scams in 2021 alone. Even the same players are back at it, with Michael Saylor veering deeper into sketchy accounting territory. The parallels are pretty unmistakable. So when does it stop? History repeats itself. Recently, the Fed announced it would be hiking interest rates multiple times over the next year, and tax rates are likely to increase as well. Meanwhile, China's economy is in peril, spurred by runaway real estate speculation, Evergrande. Quite similar to Japan in the year 2000. As fast as it appeared that institutional money flooding in will start drying up, investors will begin shifting from speculative assets to safer returns. This has played out many times in many markets throughout history. Even if these dog coins survive regulation, they are not going to survive the coming capital crunch. But dog coins are the future, bro. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It costs you nothing. So thanks for watching and have a great day.